Hello, my future readers. I'm Rivas Mayoki, an author of sci-fi history. I don't know, can I count as a contemporary writer? Because everything I write turns either to history or the future. Because even when you write something in the present moment, that present moment becomes past really, really fast. Like, I wrote this romance novel back in 2007, and I was like, oh, I will date this because I rarely date my novels. At that point I didn't date them at all, and I was like, I will date this. I will put in a technology and it will be modern, it will be the present day romance novel. And as I did so, it just got old. It suddenly became history. So 2007, it's such an ancient history nowadays. I had in it mobile phones just arrived, and it was like, oh, it was such a privilege to get a mobile phone on your job from your boss. It was like, oh, look, she has a mobile phone. And nowadays it's just like, eh. Why would her boss give her the phone? She probably has three of them at home, and chooses which one to wear with her outfit. I know it's not like that. They are expensive, but it's not anymore that novelty thing. Even though that part with the mobile phone may have been put in 2004, and already in 2007 I was like, this is outdated. Anyway, that taught me how technology dates stories. If you put in any kind of technology, that technology dates your story, because any technology becomes outdated really fast. Not only modern technology, I think that counts for ancient times too, like types of carriages, types of vehicles, types of draining system, any kind types of toilets. Because I had a story I had no toilets in, and I was like, oh, if there's no toilets at that time, it's not understood that they have indoors toilets. It's a civil war. Did they have indoors toilets? Because the woman was in the room for days. Oh, someone just crack up. But anyway, the football match is upcoming soon, so I will have to publish this today because the bank just dated my video. It's Sunday, and we will play against England, and men outside are hyped and they are throwing explosives around. That's the way Croatian celebrate, with loud bangs and loud shouts. Anyway, dating of the story is that story is already published. Oh, that is, oh, it fell, my knitting. Darkest Path in the Door, and I was like, she was in her room for days and she never went to toilet. Did they have the in their toilets at that time, or will I have to confirm that this story is just like happening in some unreal realm where they don't have to pee? And then I had to research loose toilets, and I found a beautiful British a documentary on loos. And it was like lavatory and beautifully narrated and so calmly talked about. And I found out, to my great relief, that indoor toilets were already a thing in the time frame I put this story in, and that my lady can be really very refined and already have a toilet in beside her room. And the only comment on that, so I put it in with a slight comment in the side character, who is a maid, who just was like appalled how much her lady mistress is relieving herself these days. And that's the only trace that her secret guest, who is a runaway, not slave, she's not a slave, a runaway slave freer, freedom fighter, was even there. So that's the timing. If you're timing your story, technology must come within that period of time. And it's quite interesting to find out just how technology shifts around so much. In the second book of Dakar's pattern, Agestrum, I was like shifting the story back and forth just for 10 years. Did it happen 10 years sooner or later? And in those 10 years in 19th century, there's already the difference. If it's the 10 years earlier, there's no electric trams, there's no I don't know, it wasn't the technology progressed in those 10 years, so it was very different. Did it happen 10 years earlier or 10 years later? They are really getting hyped. I will have to watch with them. So in the third book of Darkest Pattern that I'm yet to write, I'm struggling in will it happen in 1890 or 1910, and it's such a big difference considering technology. And in those books, technology is quite important. How did they move around? Was there any light? Anyway, it's those small details that makes the story present, like you are there. When you're making a story that needs to be contemporary, I think it's best not to dwell into technology at all and just to leave your characters bare. Just their own emotions, their own contraptions, and their own thoughts. Because that way your story won't age in a year, in 2 years. It will age in few decades. Like Jane Austen did age, her stories did age, but there were contemporary stories. So I don't know. Can I count as a contemporary writer? I'm yet to write my contemporary story that could last for decades and that you're unsure where it happened. I don't know. I kind of like to timestamp my stories. Even when my future stories will be timestamped. I will have to end this because it's getting wild out there. They will get to be timestamped because the invented technology of the future will also progress as the story progresses. Anyway, I'll be off to turn on my television and see who will win, we or England. I hope we will win. Bye.